Good Tuesday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. And folks, his ankle's hurt today. He has officially jumped off the bandwagon. He limped in here on some crutches after that bandwagon jump. Of course, you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Dale Hellestrae, how are those ankles doing today?
Well, I didn't realize that the bandwagon was going downhill, and I didn't realize the terrain was so tough.
You jumped off at like the worst possible time, right? It's like, man, you had to wait till that cliff was there for us all to bounce off this thing, huh?
No, it was very early in that game that I jumped off.
Well, let me ask you this: you're not a big soccer fan.
not
But
at all.
before we get to that, I just have one quick question.
Yeah.
When did you notice the U.S. was in trouble yesterday? Out of curiosity.
Almost from the get-go,
Yeah.
and again, you correct me because I don't know a whole lot, but the way I was viewing this, it seemed like that Belgium was faster the ball,
Okay.
hungrier,
Yeah.
more energetic.
That's what I'm getting at. I wanted to see if I'm gonna call you a novice soccer fan,
Yeah.
but as somebody that doesn't know about, so I wanted to see if it jumped off the page to you as well.
That's what jumped out when I was watching with my friends over at the house that you didn't come over to when we
I
invited you
wasn't
for dinner.
invited. Hey, I just want to go on record. I woke up at 4:45.
Right.
I had plenty of time to not get there on
Yeah,
time.
I was going to say, I did not get there on time. Brooke made up this special pasta. Well, Steve's coming.
Autumn brought over a pizza.
Okay.
We watched the game from that
That's
side.
good.
She got off work early. Her boss was like, "Get out of work early. Go home. Go watch this game."
Yes, and that's awesome.
It's that type of atmosphere going into it. But no, I was just curious because that's how I saw it instantly.
Well, but
I went,
so
"Oh, crap."
again, and I'll let you
Yeah.
talk more from the
No, you're
from
fine.
the knowing soccer. But like that first goal that Belgium, first of all, that wasn't their first opportunity. They had another opportunity earlier, but that one they scored. It just looked to me like there were 3 USA guys standing there just looking at it.
Sending rounds, quicksand, or they're stuck in mud or something.
their legs are tired. Or
Yeah.
It just
No, it was
looked different than the other games that I watched.
Yeah.
As far as technique of kicking a ball or where I don't understand.
Oh, so you didn't pick up on that? Oh no, I saw that.
It looked like they were off
Yeah.
on their passes and
Yeah.
things like that.
It was literally like I would equate this to, I think back to like the Coyotes when they were really bad when they were out of Glendale.
Yeah.
When the league owned them, and like a good team would come into town, and it was like just puck on the sticks the whole way down the ice. And
Right.
The Coyotes were like dribbling one, bouncing them across the ice. I noticed it almost instantly, and I
Yeah.
went, "Oh crap, we're in trouble." Belgium was like just putting balls like on their feet, across the field. It just looked like precision, and a lot of that is, and I realized it early, and that's what I didn't put into my analysis yesterday. They should be evenly matched teams going into this. But
Talent what? You're saying talent what? Okay.
in terms of the teams going at it. What I didn't factor in is Belgium, and I knew it. I didn't factor it in because I just assumed that the U.S. talent would be there. Belgium is just, they play high-end club football, meaning Premier League. Like, none of those guys on Belgium are on, like, schlub Premier League teams, like lower-tier Premier League.
Okay.
They play top-of-the-line soccer a lot. To me, it looked like the U.S. came into the game almost like, this is a big game. Like, we gotta play them. They came in nervous. They came in like a team not prepared for that environment. And Belgium was like, "Yeah, we do this every day.
Right.
I ain't worried about this." That's what I noticed right off the bat. Right off the bat. And then the U.S. looked slow and hesitant. That goaltender move at that second half to go down 3-1. That's a blunder you make in soccer. That's a blunder you make when you feel outmatched and you're trying to do something. Like in football terms, it's when you start seeing trick plays by a team. Like, all right, that team knows they don't have the talent to compete,
Right.
so they're trying to surprise them. Stuff like that. And so it was just, so it's interesting to see your perspective on that. I know Robert on Twitter last night said he noticed it as well, that the talent level was just, some of those intricacies, like just moving the ball, it was just like watching Belgium just ding, 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 ding. The U.S., their passes were being, intercepted all the
Yeah.
time. Belgium was just like, dude, all right, oh, my guy's over there. I'm going to just put the ball at his feet over there. and the U.S. were trying to dribble between guys and stuff, and things to that. Even our top level guys, that do play on those top level things. It's just they were outmanned yesterday.
Well,
and it was the type of a thing. There's no shame in that. It's just I told you everybody all along, Dale. The U.S. ain't, because people are like, U.S. can win this thing. No. I told you all along. No, they're going to get to a talent level where they're going to look like they don't belong. I did not think it would be Belgium.
Okay.
But they're not at that France. They're not at that Spain. They're not at that Belgium level. They're not the Brazil level. They'll get schooled by those teams, the talent levels. These are kids that come through up academies, playing soccer. U.S. doesn't have that system.
And we'll have plenty of time to talk about why and how come and whatever, because that's all also started in the debate in the Twitterverse.
The stupid deal afterwards.
But again, the things that jumped out to us as we're watching. Number one, it looked like the U.S. couldn't even get a shot on goal. It looked like Belgium, almost every time they came down the pitch, that they were setting stuff up and guys were having opportunities to throw the ball to net, not throw, kick,
whatever.
But it seemed like the first time, and they did put something up, the first time the U.S. had a shot, the goal was a penalty kick.
Yeah, well, it was, and they scored on it. It went off the wall, to go in. No, that was their first shot on goal. I think that was their only shot on goal for like most of the first half.
Right, and it's like, and again, I'm a novice. I like in hockey. I think the more times you pepper the net with the puck, you never know where it's going to bounce. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, no, you put it on net.
But if you don't ever put it on the net, you're not going to score.
No, put pressure on the other team is what I always say, right? And, like Belgium did that. The ball was passed back. The goaltender had to come out, make a play on the ball, and he muffed it.
Right.
And so put pressure on him and stuff like that. The thing I take away, so... Yeah, you're disappointed because it was a 4-1 loss. I thought it would be more competitive, but I'm not surprised by the outcome because I knew it was. I felt it was coming because the U.S. What we learned here is the U.S. is a top 16 team in the nation, in the world, top 16. But that's it.
And so you could say they're somewhere between 10 and 20, 10 and 16.
Yeah.
And then there's a significant difference when you get to the top 8.
Absolutely.
And
you could see it. The France didn't even play the U.S. And you watch a France game, and you go, okay, that team's better.
Right.
That team's way worlds above.
So you're not saying you didn't see like dead legs or lack of effort or
I saw scared. I saw intimidated. I saw.
Belgium looked stronger when they would hit each other.
Well, just the head balls were what I noticed. The U.S. players would kind of like just sit there, and the Belgian players, aggressiveness is how I'd phrase it. They were more aggressive to the ball.
Like that goal he scored. Like actually, there was a guy in good position for the U.S.
Reams. Jumped over Reams.
It's
just I saw a lot of hesitation. I'm going to say too big for the moment. But what I also think, though, that might be a little harsh, though. That might be that the U.S. knew going into that game that Belgium's better.
Right.
They're a good team, and we have to play our best to get there. And then so they tried to play their best, and by doing so, they focused on it too much that they showed up and didn't even play their game, let alone anything else.
Let me tell you what. Again, this was my initial thoughts, and I'm watching. I'm not critical of the U.S. soccer team.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like they got beat soundly by a better team,
much better team,
but. It was the step slow, those kind of things. And I was talking to my buddies. I said, there were games like early in my college career, early in my NFL career, to where it's a big game.
Yeah. Lots of eyeballs on it. Means a lot.
And all of a sudden, you're like, we're playing University of Texas. They were, I think, number 2. We were number 4 my sophomore year.
Some bright lights in that game.
And all of a sudden, it's like, middle of the first quarter, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why. I'm like, I'm 19 years old. I'm in good shape. I play 70 plays a game.
You hadn't been in that environment.
I hadn't been to that level of importance.
Yeah.
To which, and guess what? The next time that I was in that situation, I learned to handle it different. even more mentally.
Yeah, well, I think it's more mental. I think it's what it
which
is.
helped me physically.
And I think that's what it was. Belgium, their players, Belgium. Did you notice something? I said this to, I think it was to Robert. I responded to him on Twitter. I responded to somebody on Twitter. Did you notice Belgium put their greatest scorer of all time in the second half? Like the U.S. is substituting in bench players.
Right.
And Belgium's like, all right, now we can put our number one leading scorer in the game. There's a different level here with the top level teams, the top 4, 5, 6 teams out there that the U.S. is just not at. Most teams in the world aren't at that level, and things to that effect. So it was an amazing reminder of where you stand in the world when it comes to this sport. But like you said, I mean, we've all seen it. So that's where I kind of struggle. Is it just the lights were too bright for him? Or was it there's a giant talent deficiency?
Well, I could see it all being a factor.
Yeah.
Again, to me, the microcosm of the night was the first goal that Belgium scored. That one dude really ran past 3 USA guys.
Well, that was what I know. Every time Belgium did a cross ball across the middle, there were 2 or 3 Belgian guys running free.
And you could tell the couple times that there wasn't, you could tell the guy who passed the ball was like,
yeah, exactly.
Where are you?
Why aren't you there?
Yeah.
No, that's what I know. And it was like I know I was like thinking, like, okay, defense is a problem. And then I saw somebody else say, man, the coaching on this is terrible. I was also watching the coach's reaction for the U.S. team. He was, Autumn even mentioned, he was kicking water bottles over.
Oh, yeah.
He was upset. He saw it too. Coaches can't do anything in soccer once the game starts. Yeah, you can substitute guys in, but you can't stop that attitude, and you can't stop that and get guys to play harder, et cetera. You saw the energy pick up there toward the end, but they were already down 3-1.
Yeah.
But Belgium's playing a different style at that point. They're going to a defensive style and things to that effect. The fact that the coach kicked over water bottles on the quick goal, the 61-second goal after the U.S. tied it up, the equalizer, told me right there that coach was not happy with the way his team was playing. Like he's like, this isn't what we practiced. This isn't what we were doing. This isn't what we talked about. What are you guys doing out there? That's what that told me. And he was like,
and that's the worst thing about being a coach. Seeing as how I've been on both sides. As a coach, you can't control it. All you can do is we worked on this.
You have more say in football, though, in other sports, basketball, football, baseball.
Maybe.
You have more say during the game than you do in soccer.
Maybe.
They come over on a hydration break and at halftime. And in this World Cup. Other than that, man, they're out there on their own.
And you see certain coaches yelling out at the players, and I'm sure you can get some extra. But that's the thing. It's like, again, I relate it to American football. In fact, you work on a blitz.
Yeah.
This team does this blitz, 12 times a game.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pick up if we run our protection. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough,
first play of the game it comes.
And we don't run the protection. It's like, we worked on that all week.
Exactly. And in practice, you probably nailed it every time.
Yeah.
First time in a game, you're like
but
yeah, no. My favorite thing about it, because I was thinking about this last night. I remember I was talking to a professional basketball player years ago, 10, 15 years ago, and we were actually watching some film, and I was like, man, why doesn't the coach teach this guy? He wasn't playing defense right. He kept getting blown. I was like, why doesn't the coach teach this guy to not play defense? And he goes, I guarantee you that coach has had that conversation with that guy 30 times leading up to this game on what this guy's going to do. And I guarantee you that conversations happen. I guarantee you that coach is fuming right now because he not doing what they practiced the week. And he goes, and I also promise you, that guy probably did it in practice 100 times right to where they were confident he was going to do it in the game right. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point. I guess you couldn't always blame the coaches.
Well, and that's the whole thing. When you're playing, you have you have total control of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which that in turn gives you a little control over what's happening on the field. When you're coaching, you're just sitting there going, what went through your mind right there?
It just, I mean, look, I told you guys, because I started seeing last week, does the U.S. have a chance? And I was like, no, they don't. They don't have a chance to win this thing. They can beat the teams at their level and the teams below them. but they're not going to beat the top tier national teams. We're not set up to compete with those guys. If you know anything about soccer, like Belgium's kids grow up in a Belgian system, from a young age, and they go through the things to get handpicked for these positions. And like I said, they go over and they're playing top tier Premier League. You could see it almost instantly. Belgium, when that ball was kicked off, Belgium was like, just another game.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
another high stakes game. Cool, let's go do our game here. You saw no panic in their eyes. You saw no worry. And I just felt on the U.S. side, it was like, ooh, these lights are bright. A lot of people here.
Yeah.
No, we win this. We're going down to 8. And especially coming off that Spain, not Paraguay, Spain, Portugal game before, where both of those teams would just look like relaxed, like in the moment. They knew what their environment they were in. They're just used to being there. And I didn't factor that in. I didn't think the U.S. would wilt. I thought we'd see more of a Mexico-England game than what we saw last night. That's where I get disappointed.
Right.
But it also comes down to, like I said, just the talent level on the U.S. Our number one scoring guy, who's been a part of this team for a ton of time now, just can't stay healthy. He's hurt. Even he plays over there in Europe, and he can't stay healthy over there, and stuff to that effect. And the U.S. is a top 15 team in the league in the world. Great, but they're not going to compete with those top tier teams until, I hate to say it, until we change our youth programs, and it's not going to change.
Well,
Parents are going to have to send their kids overseas.
Well, the thing I was going to
Go through those
say, because I
programs.
did see this on Twitter, Clay Travis put down, he was just talking about, because he's a big soccer fan, he's cheering for the USA, disappointed with the outcome, blah, blah, blah. But they said, what a lot of people don't understand is that if you're a good young soccer player in the United States, club ball, not the highest level, the mid-level club ball, costs parents $5,000 a year.
Oh, it's more than that.
And I'm just,
15,
he's
20
saying
grand.
he's saying mid-level.
Oh, mid-level. Okay.
Yeah. But the higher levels cost more.
Yeah.
And he said there's a lot of families who can't afford
Parents
that.
pay that, yeah.
And so somehow, some way, these other countries find ways to.
Oh no, Dale, it's even worse than that. A good kid at 7, 8 years old that goes into the academies in Brazil, goes into the academies in Belgium and England. They get paid to go to those schools. They pay the parents for the kid to go there.
Okay.
And here we're the opposite,
Right.
right? You have to pay for the privilege. But the other side of it is kids here grow up, right? And I grew up, okay, so I know it's 30 years ago. But I grew up, soccer was my favorite sport. It's what I played my whole life growing up. And I dabbled in basketball and baseball, but I always went back to soccer. I was a rarity at that point. Everybody
Yes.
else was like, oh, I got football practice, and then I'll come to soccer practice.
Well, usually, again, your best athletes at pick any high school in the Phoenix metropolitan area, they are guided towards football, basketball, or baseball.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way it's always been.
You get those football players over because they can be defensemen because they're big. Just come out here and brutalize these guys. But again, it's secondhand type of a deal.
Right.
But I mean, they have club sports that you can go into and things. But like I said, it's just that different atmosphere where you're paying out compared to over there. I
Right.
mean, they make good money, man. They literally kidnap a kid. They don't go to school. They go to school, and they go and learn stuff.
But schools wrapped around
Schools
soccer.
wrapped around soccer.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they live there. They dominate there. If I had to equate it to something, if you know, what's that? The basketball where the kids come up in basketball. It's like you go to a big school, you get a scholarship, you get paid to go to that school, and that's more for the high school kids.
Yeah.
What's that called? AUA or whatever.
Well, I don't know if it's AAU, but like the IMG academies,
Stuff like
and
that.
things like that.
Those kids get plucked at 7th grade, going, this kid's got a chance to be something
Right.
great. You're coming to this academy. They get paid to go there. They get scholarships to go there. That's what you need on the soccer side, and we just don't have that.
And by the way, the other thing is when you start doing that 7th and 8th grade, for every Ronaldo, there's 500 kids who don't make it.
But that's the thing, though. Belgium doesn't have one guy on that team that you think of as like a world superstar, to where you pick him out and you're gonna have his poster on your wall. But they're really, really good to go to that level. They're just not going to be the Ronaldos, the Messis.
Right.
But they're all making millions of dollars still. Their life is not sad.
Right.
And stuff. So that was my take on the U.S. last night. Autumn chimes in. Don't forget, join us on the chat on YouTube. Says, as a former teacher, she's got to put former in there now. Says, I will confirm there's nothing more frustrating than knowing you taught something, but watching your students do something else. She goes, same with parenting. She says, we all know how that feels, but you still don't kick water bottles and throw a fit like that. Absolutely, you do.
Oh, Autumn,
That bothered her, Dale, when he kicked the water bottle.
I very, very rarely disagree with Miss Autumn, but showing a little emotion is okay. It's not like he threw a water bottle at a player or something like that.
They were just sitting there, and he needed to get some pressure. And they gave up a goal 61 seconds later, and it was an easy goal to give up with 3 guys breaking in on your goalkeeper.
Yeah.
After you just scored. That is utterly ridiculous. That's unexcusable. The goalkeeper mistake was, you make those mistakes in young leagues, and you quickly learn not to make those mistakes. You're just getting rid of the ball. It doesn't matter where it goes. But he looked hesitant, didn't know where to put it. You just kick that thing as hard as you can.
Yes.
And it's just like, what is happening right now? Sometimes you walk into a place, I haven't experienced it lately, but sometimes you walk in a place and it's just, you're out of your league.
Well, and here's the thing too, because that happens on the football field
all the time.
It's fascinating to me that I'm 63, going to be 64 in a couple of days, and it wasn't until a year ago that I found out that I hit hard.
Yeah,
you never think about that. When I was talking to other players,
I was gonna say, who told you that? It was somebody too. It was somebody like that's really, really good that told you that.
Yeah,
you were like, wait, what?
Well, John Randall was one of them.
That was who it was.
You never think, just like a soccer player,
John Randall,
as an offensive lineman, like I don't know. I know when Steve hits me.
Yeah,
I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a lot more impactful than another guy that's going to hit me. But you never know how you hit.
Yeah.
And so, again, you're a good soccer player because you're in the World Cup and you're in the round of 16 and all that. But a lot of times you don't know how good you are or how fast you are or all those things. And it was just fascinating watching some of those things last night. But as far as the emotion, that's the other thing when you're talking about teaching or being a parent. You don't got 5 million people watching you, or however many people watched that game last night.
Well, just that stadium was rocking.
Oh, it was rocking and rolling, and however many people watched it on TV. When you're parenting, and you show a little frustration with something, you don't got 8 million people going, oh, no. That's how you handle it.
I took him as him kicking that by going, this isn't what we practice. This isn't our game plan. You guys aren't doing what we optioned. You guys are being lethargic out there. That's what I took it as. The frustration from him was, what are we doing?
Right.
This is what we talked about. That's what I took it as. And it doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, Autumn, that bothered Autumn. She was all turned against the coach.
Come on, Autumn. You've never picked up an eraser and threw it at a kid, giving you a wrong answer.
You can admit it now.
Yeah.
You can admit it now on that side. But I mean, what do I mean by, I've always had the Diamondbacks as a 500 team for the last couple of years. Other people are jumping on that bandwagon now, so thank you, other people, for that. But this team is a top 16 team in the world. That's a great place to be. Right. Like you said, there's a big drop-off from the top tier. Watch these teams remaining and playing each other. Right. And it's going to be a 0-0 draw. It's going to be like a 1-0. You're going to go, well, these two are evenly matched teams. But what they have to do to get stuff, like it's a step-up level from here on out. It's going to be an amazing thing to see coming up. But the U.S. this year, round of 16, lost 4-1 to Belgium. 2022, last World Cup, round of 16, lost 3-1 to the Netherlands. They didn't qualify in 2018. That's how bad they were. 2014, round of 16, lost 2-1 to Belgium in extra time. 2010, round of 16, lost 2-1 to Ghana in extra time at that point. 2006, they didn't get out of the group stage there. Quarterfinals in 2002. So they've graduated up to round of 16. But now how do you get to that next tier? And you're going up against, this would be like a YMCA team going up against like the best high school basketball teams. you're just at a different level.
Right.
The training, the practices, the way you come up, your expectation level. And the thing that just stuck with me last night was they didn't even play one of their best players last night, Belgium. They didn't even put him in the game. They just rested him the whole game. They didn't need him. But when they substituted 2 guys in, and one of them was their all-time leading scorekeeper, which that guy looked like, he looked like a football player, like a U.S. football player going out there. But you're just like, oh, man, they're substituting their best players in,
Right.
and they have a 3-1 lead, and the U.S. is like, well, this guy's coming in off the bench. He's played a little. you're stepping up to enough. Doesn't mean you couldn't beat them. It's just they would have had to have played a near perfect game, and there were a calamity of errors yesterday on the U.S. side as well. So I'm not disappointed. I enjoyed the run. It's just like I told you, 2022 they were round of 16. 2014 they were round of 16. It felt different this year.
Yes. But is that because it was here in the U.S.?
It's got to be the difference, doesn't it?
And
I don't particularly think. Was there a player on this team you can rally around?
I don't think so.
Right? Because their main guy that's on every commercial and everything, Pulisic, can't stay healthy.
Right.
Constantly hurt. Did nothing in this tournament. And he was the guy they were pushing us on there. Is there somebody on this team where you go, this is somebody I could follow, going back over to Europe? And no. They're just a bunch of guys playing soccer out there. Whereas I can tell you that I don't know their names, but there's 2 or 3 guys on Belgium that I'm like, oh, he plays for fun. I'm gonna watch more of their games to watch this kid play.
Right. Right.
You saw that level difference, and I was just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Well, again, I think I said this yesterday. The thing about the United States still being alive in it and it being over here,
I think that was the difference.
it kept you were involved in everything. And it to me, it's like the Phoenix Suns when they were making runs to the Western Conference Finals and things like that. It's like, boy, the playoffs went fast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh my gosh, really? We're already into the Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals? Oh, well, that's because the Suns are playing.
Yeah, we're a couple days away from no World Cup games because they have to take a break because we're down to a few teams now.
Yeah.
And I'm just used to watching it for the last couple of weeks. Now
Right.
I'm going to be like, go through withdrawals for a couple of days coming up when there's no games. Like, what are we doing? Autumn says, we all know how that feels, but you don't kick water bottles and throw a fit like that.
Oh, Autumn.
All because the feed cut. No, should you do like the Bosnian coach did and grab the ball and throw a little hissy fit and get a yellow card? I mean, what do you want to go? Coaches have emotions too.
In a highly charged event, yes.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this coach is from Argentina. The U.S. coach is from Argentina. He grew up in that atmosphere of just coming up through the game, getting to that coaching level. He's got a lot of pride on his side and everything. Oh, you're taking on the U.S. team? Oh, good luck to you, And all of that stuff. He probably gets laughed at a little bit by his coaching peers and people in Argentina. Like, that's the team you're going to take over and try to do something with? Sucker.
I will say this, while it's on my mind, I have come to really appreciate the pregame stuff with this World Cup
I have not
soccer,
watched any of it, to be honest.
where they bring the flags of both
Oh, that's
countries, the players.
Football, soccer always does that.
Yeah,
They do that for a random regular season game.
The players walk out with a kid,
Yeah,
and everybody that I watched sang their national anthem.
Yeah.
Like the players were singing it.
Mhm.
The pomp and circumstance is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The way they do things.
It's a visual, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. They do that different. That would be like you coming out of your locker room and you have a kid with you, and
Yeah.
you look at that. Look at that reaction. That's what I'm talking about.
No, because I'm mentally prepared to go knock the bejesus
You're
out of
literally
somebody.
trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
That's what always cracked me up about senior day in college, where it's like, oh, come out and meet your parents.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, mom's all crying or whatever, and then it's like, let's go kill people.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
do the senior thing well before the game or
Right.
something, because it doesn't make sense to do it there. Robert says, you get what you get and don't throw a fit.
Oh goodness.
I do like how they cut to him just as he was kicking him, though. It did give me a little chuckle from that side. But yeah, no, Autumn. Yeah,
Did you get in trouble for all your comments about Autumn yesterday?
Yeah, well, I was able to avoid that.
You
The
were.
U.S. not playing well got me out
Oh,
of
did it?
that. So U.S. eliminated. I'm looking forward to the rest of the round. It'll be interesting to see. I did a story on the Business Story today, just talking about Fox 10 did the story and about they're talking to bar owners and restaurants because their business is through the roof.
Right.
Because this is an event, and I'm not somebody to go around big. I'll go to a party. I'll go to somebody's house to watch. I'm not one to be like I'm going to go to the bar to watch this game. I'd rather watch it at home. I can enjoy it myself, and all that. But I mean, it was fun being in San Diego, sitting at the bar, watching that Cape Verde Argentina game. Like that was fun, seeing the reactions of the crowd and all of that stuff. So I get that, but they're expecting the crowds to still stay big out there, here locally and nationally, even with the U.S. because teams are now going, I'm moving for this team and that team. So it'll be interesting to see here as you go out there and what the reaction is here after the U.S. team. Like I said, and I do believe some of that. It's just because it's here. You're not having to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch a game. Right? These games are just right in the middle of the day. Like Morocco is coming up this Thursday, 1 p.m. Spain-Belgium's coming up, noon on Friday as well.
So that's right in the middle of your nap schedule.
I know. I'm going to have to adjust that.
Well, I will say this. The World Cup this year, as opposed to Olympics, I always watch the Olympics. I watched probably more complete soccer games this World Cup, not even just of the USA, but a few others, than I have in my entire 63-year life.
And I contribute that to it being here.
Yeah.
Like next World Cup's in Morocco. There's a little bit of a time difference between us and Morocco.
Yeah.
Folks. And they don't play the games at 2 a.m. Morocco time. So it'll be different. But I mean, like I said, they just made the round of 16 4 years ago. I was telling you, I don't remember it being like this. So it's got to be because it's here. And when it was here last, 94, I was junior in high school, maybe a senior in high school at that point, going into my senior year. And I don't remember it being like, plus back then the team was not good. It was terrible. Tony Meola, Kobe Jones.
My question is, Steve, what do you think Bruce Cooper's history of soccer?
Maybe he could have made a goal instead of, we know he couldn't make the basket. Maybe he could make the goal.
Wow.
Yeah, as well. Hey, before we get to Bruce here, really quick, I just wanted to bring up the Rattlers played last night as well.
Yep.
I believe this was the first time San Diego's lost in their new building. They started there last year. They have a 3-year agreement in this new building. It's up by Carlsbad. It's about 40 minutes north of downtown San Diego and everything. They went in last night, dominated that game. That Rattlers defense has turned into something. They could go on a run with this defense.
Right.
But I'll also say the offense. Here's what I got a question for you, Dale. We don't know the answer to this. They went from Max Myler, Drew Powell, whatever it was, week 6 or whatever. And how long ago we think we have a better chance with Drew Powell. Now they've gone back to Max Myler. He's playing well.
Yep.
This offense is rolling.
Well,
I questioned if Myler was injured. Is there a possibility, or was it a he needs to learn a little bit more?
I think it could be twofold. Number one, he might have been banged up, and
banged up, not injured, banged up.
In indoor football league, there's a lot of secrecy. It's not like the NFL where
Dale,
you get fined.
I'm around the locker room, and I can't find out what's happening.
Yeah. And there's a lot of secrecy. The league doesn't enforce anything like the NFL does.
They do give you more information now, though, because I think Yahoo Sports demands it. Like, they're putting stuff out like a day before the game now.
Okay.
Whereas with the last few years, I'd come see you and be like, what were you told?
Right.
As a broadcaster going into this. So there's a little bit more info than but you don't get the like last night, the center 55 moved over to right guard, and they had a new center in there. Nothing about that pregame. I just noticed it because I, of course, cover them and stuff like that. But they're rocking and rolling now, going into the playoffs, going into San Diego, who's got something to play for. Throw up the Western Conference standings really quick for me out there as well. So San Diego moves down from first place to second place with the win. Now, they played one less game than Vegas. They have to play each other, I believe, this week. Vegas and San Diego. So that's a huge game on the schedule for them. Rattlers, as I said, are in the playoff. That win just means they're going to be the 3 seed. minimum.
But with the possibility of getting to that 2 seed, which means you
Yeah.
get to have a home playoff game.
Yeah, you need San Diego to lose to Vegas, and then they got an easy game. I think they played Northern Arizona last, if I remember right. But San Diego one game behind everybody as well, so they got 3 games remaining. So you got a possibility for 2 with that win last night. So this Tucson game this weekend is going to be something that kind of for the seeding. Of course, last home game coming up Saturday night, and I got a decision to make on this.
Uh-oh.
Conor McGregor's UFC fight is Saturday night.
Oh.
And I usually watch UFC while I'm there, but they also kick off at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something. Do I blow off the Rattlers this week to watch UFC?
Well, you'll talk to Lou on Friday or whatever you said. Lou has not been
Lou's
super
coming
hyped
in on
about
Friday
this
this week,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had not been super hyped about this Conor McGregor.
Because Conor McGregor hasn't fought in 5 years.
Yeah.
He was on a losing streak coming into his beforehand. Hasn't fought for 5 years. I agree with him on it. There's nothing to be. I'm interested in seeing what he can do. If you don't know Conor McGregor's lifestyle, when he was growing up, Dale, he was fighting his way out of the slums of Ireland. Had that mentality. Now he lives on a boat, $1 million yacht. Wears
silk
nice watches.
pajamas, butlers.
And he hasn't fought for 5 years.
Yeah.
Come on. What type of attitude do you have going into this fight?
And for that though, it'd be fascinating because you can see it go one of 2 ways. You could see that, hey, maybe he's starting to run out of money and he wants to go for another 2-3 years and
he needs to win.
he gets that edge back.
Yeah.
Or this is one last payday and
Yeah, it could go both ways. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued by it, but it's not something where I'm going to lose my mind about coming up. But anyhow, Rattlers got the win in San Diego last night. Hopefully that bus ride home overnight was good because that game didn't get. I fell asleep in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes to go, and it was like 10 o'clock.
well,
9:30,
start an hour later than usual because of the World
Yeah.
Cup soccer game.
They got home at what, 2-3 in the morning to 6-hour ride home.
I saw Kevin Guy posted a picture again. The coaches were in the van on the way home after a victory and looked like they were enjoying the fruits of their labor.
So last home game for the Rattlers this Saturday. They have a chance for the second. They're going to be the 3 seed. Maybe they can move into the second. They still need a lot to go. Now, they've got the tiebreaker against San Diego. So if San Diego manages to lose 2 out of the next 3 and the Rattlers can win out, you get the 2 seed. And that means a home playoff game coming up.
Right.
For you as well. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Let's take our break. Bring Bruce Cooper in here. We got a lot to talk about. Dale, your Arizona Diamondbacks. Look like the team we thought they'd be all year last night. Second of all, how bad are the Padres right now? They're bad. I didn't know they were that bad. We got some Suns talk we got to talk about. We got college football. Big 12 Media Day starts today. Your favorite coach on the planet, Coach Dillingham, speaks at 10:30 today, folks. I know he's doing interviews all this morning. All that coming up, plus some NFL talk today as well. Come on back, folks. The main event. Bruce Cooper coming up next. And we're back here. Main event with This guy, it's not every day I get to sit next to a legend.
Oh,
Dale Hellestrays on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Bruce Cooper, of course, Channel 12 for, I think we determined 34 years. Nobody knows for
34.
sure out there, but joins us on Tuesdays and everything. You were just telling, you guys got me hungry with that conversation during the break.
yeah. Hosted the fourth family barbecue at our house. I wasn't going to have my wife go out and do all the grilling and stuff because I don't really cook, So I went to Famous Dave's and, had a meal catered from them. So
Is
works
Famous
for me.
Dave's good?
Yeah.
haven't had it in a long time.
Everyone seemed to enjoy it. We had the pulled barbecue chicken, the brisket, and I believe it was the St. Louis and not the baby back ribs.
You didn't cater in from Buc-ee's, the brisket
Ah,
sandwich?
Hey, I saw a story on that. That's insane. I mean,
Yeah. Well, we stopped by there on Thursday on our way over to San Diego.
How long
and
do you have to
everything.
wait?
It was actually there wasn't. I mean, it was busy. Don't get me
Really?
wrong,
Okay.
but there was no lines or anything. I waited in the line for like 3 minutes for my jerky.
Yeah, I saw a story on the
stuff like
news
that.
where there are people who had been waiting up to like 4 hours.
Yeah,
just
that was
to
when
get
it
in.
first
I'm like, Are
opened,
you
yeah.
insane?
I was telling everybody. I know somebody that lives up at like I-17 in Deer Valley in that area, works up in that area. When it first opened, left their house at like 2 a.m, went down there, stood in line, got a brisket sandwich, drove all the way back home, went to work. Well, I saw over the weekend they went back down there again. Same thing where they just left like early in the morning, went down there just to get a brisket sandwich. And I'm like, that's dedication, man. That's dedication.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to do that for Steak 44.
I know.
For crying out loud.
I stopped
Yeah,
on my
don't
way
do
out of town. We ran into the kid's orthodontist when we were in there. So it's like you run into all your friends while you're in there. It wasn't bad but this was Thursday morning. I hear on the weekends it's still packed and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a glorified,
Yeah,
mini
it's
Walmart.
insane. I remember at 12 when a place like In-N-Out came here, or a place like White Castle came
Yes.
here.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
they'd
White
have
Castle was a
have
big one.
these lines that went forever. I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah, White Castle had like
Why?
6-hour waits. Well,
Yeah,
we
people will
worked
drive
right there.
from Yuma and
Yeah.
I had to change my way into the radio station back then because we drove by the White Castle, and I had to change my way into work because the line was so long and shut down roads
Yeah, it
and
was
for like a month. And it was
ridiculous.
like,
Are
what?
you kidding me?
For sliders that just make you want to throw up afterwards?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. If you say so. But other than the 4th of July, did you see fireworks by chance?
Dude, I'm so not into that anymore.
really?
I'm not into
You didn't go
that.
anywhere, huh?
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the wife and I hosted the barbecue, and we all watched some movies. There was a movie. What was the name of this movie that we watched? I'm so bad with names.
Well, describe it. Who's in it? Describe it.
I couldn't.
You can't even do that?
I tell you who was in it. It was Sandra Bullock,
Mm,
and
a rom-com.
as your
A rom-com?
No, I think it was the Unforgivable.
Okay.
Yeah, unforgivable. So I guess her parents got killed or something. I can't remember if they got killed or they ran it. Yeah, I think they got killed. And anyway, so she's raising her 5-year-old sister, and naturally she can't pay the rent and stuff like that. So they come to take her, and the sheriff is coming in to get him, and she's like barricaded herself in, and she said, "You can't come. You're not going to take us."
Yeah.
And she knows they're going to CPS or whatever. And
Because she was in prison for a while in that movie,
well,
right?
yeah, because what happened was, and you don't learn this to the end. You just know that she went to prison for
Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
Yeah, she went to prison for shooting the sheriff who came in to get him.
Yeah.
And as it shows at the end, it's actually the 5-year-old sister that killed her.
Yeah.
Killed the sheriff. But so she's not going to let drop down on her 5-year-old sister. She took the blame for
Yeah.
it. So as you watch the whole thing evolve, it was pretty good. I'd never seen it before. Thought
Right.
It was pretty good.
You thought it was good? I'm not a Sandra Bullock fan. I'd rather watch paint dry.
Oh, dude, what is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
glad you enjoyed
I mean,
yeah.
she did an excellent job in that movie. What
Steve
wrong
is
with
so
you?
wrong.
I
Steve
mean,
is
son
so
of a
wrong.
gun.
Her and Ben Affleck. I would rather have a stick shoved in my eye repeatedly than watch anything they're in. But that's just my take. Robert says, does McGregor show up? That's the big question, Robert. He's still got time to back out of this.
Okay.
And then Ethan says, I think McGregor gets hurt during this fight. That is true. His last fight, he got hurt too. think he broke his ankle or something. Are you gonna watch the McGregor fight this weekend?
Dude, I am not a UFC fan at all.
You're
I
not?
mean, absolutely not. My brother drives me insane with his passion for the sport. I
Right.
mean, dude.
They're passionate fans, yeah.
Yeah, he's very passionate.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to watch boxing, coming up.
Yeah.
But I just could never cross over to UFC. I tried it.
I couldn't either. And then we have Lou on. He's going to lose on Friday this week, by the way. That's why we're doing a Friday show. We'll talk more about that tomorrow because it's a limited show on Friday. But Lou's going to come on Friday. And but since we've had him on, he's a gambling guy that follows UFC and handicaps it and stuff like that. It piqued my interest. So at first I just have it on and be like, this is stupid. I was with you. Like, this is dumb. This is just too brutal. This is ridiculous. But as I've come to understand how they fight, the way he talks about it and what he says about it, and I know what they're doing now, it's actually become pretty interesting to me for the most part. There's a lot I don't like about it.
To each his own.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those fanatic fans that are out there where people lose their minds about it, from that perspective. But here's the thing for you guys. Before Big 12 Media Days today, we'll get into that. Kenny Dillingham talks at 10:30. Couple things for you, but one, I saw this on The Athletic. We got to get ready for football here, guys. July 22nd
Yes.
is when the Cardinals report a month from yesterday, Hall of Fame game, which I know is ridiculous,
How about
but
that?
we'll see Carson Beck in that game, assuming he's signed, right, Dale? Got to sign our quarterbacks first.
There was another guy that I saw who was a third-round pick who signed yesterday. We were thinking Beck was the last of the Mohicans, but
He's the last one on the Suns, but
right.
on the Cardinals.
Okay.
Sorry, I have my Suns notes up here.
Okay.
So somebody else did sign yesterday.
Look, if you guys are getting excited about Carson Beck, I mean, you guys are really, really missing the boat. My goodness.
Okay, but we're supposed to get excited about Jacoby Brissett and Minshew to win their three games.
There's nothing. Well, look, I'm excited about the rookie class, some of the people in the rookie class, but I'm not putting my eggs at that quarterback position. I think that's one of the really low spots on the team. When you start looking at incrementally at the positions and stuff like that, where the Cardinals have improved, I think offensively. Their best position is most talented position is running back. Next, you go to the receiver / tight end.
They're gonna cut a decent running back.
And the offensive line would be third on that group with the quarterback position last.
Right. And the thing is, it's fascinating because obviously, in my mind, right now, Jacoby Brissett gives them the best chance to win games.
I agree with that.
Whether you say he's the best quarterback, whether he's the most right now, I think he gives them the best chance to win games. Now, he's holding out. He's doing whatever it is he's doing, holding. Nobody, not one person has said, what is he asking for?
Yeah.
Nobody said, hey, the Cardinals offered him $15 million for the year, but a significant increase.
And he wants 30
and
or
he
something
wants
like
30.
that. The only thing we heard was they're significantly apart is what the ESPN
Yeah, but
report
Cardinals-wise, that could be 10 and 8.
Oh, Dale, it could be a penny off. The Cardinals.
Yeah, it's bad, and honestly, I'm really not that excited about the Cardinals season. I usually get excited about football season when it rolls around, particularly when it relates to the Cardinals and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Hence some of our bets that we've made over the years. But I'm just not excited about this, and because I just feel that they've regressed at that quarterback position.
There's no doubt.
And that's a very, very key and important position. Now, if you're like the Baltimore Ravens, who have a Trent Dilfer at quarterback who just turns around and hands the ball off or just gets the ball out and quickly while your defense is standout and you go and win a Super Bowl behind Ray Lewis and company, that's a whole different subject for another day. That's not the Arizona Cardinals.
No.
And so when I look and I see that the Los Angeles Rams added some dude named Myles Garrett to their roster, I see that the Seattle Seahawks, though they have the Super Bowl champions defending Seattle Seahawks, though they have suffered a number of different personnel losses, they're still the same at quarterback.
But their personnel losses, because I was reading about their personnel losses are guys they could afford to let go because their backups were scheduled to come in and start for them over the next couple of years anyway. They got playing time the last couple of years, and they're comfortable with them coming in. Kenny Walker being the only one.
I thought Kenneth Walker was a huge difference maker.
He's the one
difference.
difference.
And keep in mind, Zach Charbonneau suffered, I believe, an ACL tear late in the season, so he's not going to be available. So, but they did draft the rookie Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. He was Jeremiah Love's backup, yeah. And so, but I looked there, and then the 49ers. I'm saying, man, Brock Purdy. I'm looking at this dude have a huge year. I mean, they bring over Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay, Ricky Pearsall. I mean, brother just can't stay healthy. But he's extremely talented.
It's and grit that they have there, Coop.
Yeah, and then they bring over Christian Kirk, and you already have Kittles at tight end. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's got some weapons, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And
Coop, well, we're on Sanders, and you just keep that in mind wherever you're going next. Did you ever know Brandon Ayuk at ASU?
I did.
And
he was not this aloof cannon that he is right now. I mean, I matter of fact, he was. You could say he was kind of taciturn. I mean, he was really a quiet guy.
I was going to say, you're using a lot of words. I don't even know what you mean. Quiet?
Quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's quiet.
Taciturn, my brain hurts.
Well, he's one of those guys that you put a mic in front of him and
that's a TV guy's words right there, folks.
And very few words come out.
Okay.
He wasn't that.
He was always quiet. That's what I remember him being. Yeah.
He wasn't that dude, but I mean, man,
he loves his Instagram
I guess
now.
when you get paid, man, I mean, it takes you to a different level of belonging.
But here's the problem: he got paid, but he hasn't gotten any of it because he doesn't want to play anymore.
I don't get it.
And he's playing it so badly that I don't know if you saw this yesterday. I think it was, but he was on Instagram saying that, "Oh, I don't care what the Niners do. I'm never going to go back to them." And because he has to negotiate with them. They have his rights. They have to release him or do it. He goes, I'm not gonna go through that process. So the Niners can literally just put him on a list and keep him and never have him play football again stuff to that. And it's like, what are you doing? You've gone from getting out of the Niners to where they can keep your rights and keep you at home. And it's like, what are you doing right now? There's I hate to say it, but there's something wrong with this.
Yeah,
kid.
there really is. I mean, look, he keeps going out, and the Commanders aren't going to say anything because they're not going to tamper.
Jaden Daniels unfollowed him and all that.
He keeps saying that that's where he wants to go play with Jaden Daniels, his former quarterback, and this, that, and the other. And he's like he's writing his own path to where.
Yeah, it don't work like that. But on Instagram, I saw that on Twitter somewhere. He's talking about Jaden Daniels, and I'm a grown man.
Well, Jaden Daniels unfollowed him on whatever social media.
So I didn't know that part.
So then Ayuk lashed out at Jaden Daniels saying, "I made you." And stuff. That was all. I was on vacation. I was following that.
Okay, because I just saw that.
No, it's just something's happened to Brandon Ayuk where I don't know.
But he has to understand that Jaden Daniels nor the Washington Commanders can say anything about him because it would be tampering and they would be sanctioned.
Right.
So I would imagine, and here's the deal. See, Ayuk and Jaden Daniels, they've stayed in contact with each other throughout the seasons and everything like that. Even when he was in college and in the NFL, they've stayed in contact. I'm sure it's the Commanders who said, "Hey, man, you got to unfollow this dude."
Yeah. Right. I don't think you're going to get us in trouble.
But yeah. And so, and I don't know what's wrong.
It's an interesting concept there. But the reason why I bring up NFL is the Athletic did. We're starting to see this, like things to look for in training camp, and the Athletic did this. Who you added to a team, the most beneficial addition to each team out there. Now, for most teams, they have a player. For the Atlanta Falcons, they have Ian Cunningham, their general manager. And for the Cardinals, their biggest addition, they say, is Mike LaFleur.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, that's what they say there. It's not a good sign when you add a guy like Jeremiah Love, and they do say Jeremiah Love probably should be that answer, but they're putting it on LaFleur as a new head coach there and stuff like that. But it's never good. It's never good when your head coach is the biggest addition you've had on the team.
Well,
when you won 3 games last
again,
year.
that's subjective, and I think it's idiocy anyway. I mean, the guy is not going to play a second of any game. Look, I would definitely look at some of the draft picks, and then I think their best free agent pickup was probably Isaac Ciamalo from
Yeah,
the
the left guard.
Steelers. Yeah.
Oh no, they improved that offensive line. Now they got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Monty's got a history of signing big name,
his first
good
round
quality offensive linemen that just don't come in healthy.
Yeah, and his first round picks usually wind up missing half the season, if
Well,
not all of it.
well,
Oh, yeah, well,
Injuries.
those are defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Or
I
defensive linemen.
just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
up that's just kind of the focus
Well,
of the athletic, at least.
And
Not
I
Haller.
heard, and I heard this over the weekend, and right now they're in the worst 4-season stretch in
Yeah.
Cardinals history
I think
as far as losses.
I think
which
they lost
is
49 games.
Yeah.
which is
And-
unbelievable because
and
they've
so-
had some bad years.
And so, get this: they could go 10-7 next year, which they're not going to do. Even Coop's not that
Come on.
crazy.
Hey, come on. Brandon Beck, we believe.
But they go 10-7 next year, and it's still gonna be the worst 5-year stretch in Cardinals history. And it ain't like this is a team littered with Super Bowls.
Yeah, you know the thing that's so bad about the Arizona Cardinals is that they can't identify, the areas that they need to put money in and get better at.
Mhm.
You know, they draft a lot of redundant. And I'll give you an example. Let's look at the linebacker position. They have spent so many first round picks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Hassan Reddick, Zach. I'm losing his name.
Well, the guy from LSU,
You're
that's-
talking about
B-
Zach
B-
from
B-
that went to the Broncos?
No. Zaven Collins.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
said
there's no
Collins.
Zach,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's why I
Zaven
was, like,
Collins.
confused.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know where I got Zach, but it's definitely Zaven Collins. It just finally came to me. And they just keep adding to that position group. I mean, even though Isaiah Simmons wasn't a linebacker technically, they called him the Swiss Army knife.
But they wanted
And
those
they- yeah,
hybrid positions.
Yeah, and they played him more at that linebacker slot
Yeah.
than they did at safety. But I mean, dude, look, why do you keep beating that dead horse? And they wind up letting Hassan Reddick go, and Reddick becomes a star elsewhere because the Cardinals have mismanaged his playing position.
Same problem though, position
Yeah.
problem, because they wanted him to be a hybrid and they chose for him.
Yeah.
And there's always this thing here. Remember in the D-backs, and it was always like, we want those sidearm guys. It's like the Arizona teams just always want to change positions, and it rarely works out for us here
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah, and so they just continue to spin their wheels in the mud.
Mhm.
And it's the same old. I'm still a position. Look, I've been here, covered the Cardinals since they got here in '88. I've just seen a lot of bad quarterback play, and so I know the good quarterback plays when I see him. So, but the Cardinals had two older guys that came in Warner and Carson Palmer.
Off the scrap
Yeah,
heap.
yeah, and they're on the back end of their careers. I mean, their careers in their rearview mirror, but their intelligence and the playmakers that were placed around them elevated the Cardinals
that's
to a
the
different
key,
level.
the
and
playmakers.
So when they bring in Kyler Murray, I mean, wow, you get excited, man. Here's a guy who can evade rushes, make plays off script, and things like that. But they just don't put these playmakers around him for continued success. I mean, they had it going for 1 year when they had DeAndre Hopkins
and,
here, and once D Hop got hurt, I mean, everything just
It's been
spiraled.
downhill since
And
then.
and Kyler and him never played together
No.
again.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and now I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, Monty, you're doing something now. I mean, he goes out and gets Jeremiah Love in free agency, brings in a guy named Tyler Algier. Look, we all watched Algier play at BYU collegiately in the Pac-12. So you have a thunder and lightning combo again. I mean, you remember when they had Chase Edmonds and James Conner?
Yeah.
Well, those were the running backs for the Cardinals, and they called themselves Thunder and Lightning.
Right.
And they offered a contrast in the backfield for the Cardinals when Kyler is ready to do his thing with D Hop and Christian Kirk and the guy from he's playing AJ Green,
Right.
and so yeah.
I was just laughing because I was like, you're gonna make me say AJ Green, aren't you?
but that was it, and so I'm just saying that Monty's building that team again, because now if you look at out wide, look, I'm convinced that Marvin Harrison is going to click for him. He's too good.
I don't know
He's
what
too
makes you
good.
think that's gonna
something-
happen.
Yeah. But see, you got him, Michael Wilson. You got Trey McBride, and they went and got the veteran Kendrick Bourne. So they actually have some playmakers. Behind center, at running back, and out wide.
Well, you'll be able to also you're going to be able to see Algier and Love in the game at the same time
can.
because you can split
You
Love
can-
out.
Yeah, you can put in packages
Yeah.
like that. And so I'm just saying that now for the first time that offense has been built with some playmakers again, and so now whoever is behind center, under center, they're not going to be devoid of people who they can get the ball to. Because behind Trey McBride, they have some other nice. I've always liked Higgins there. I think he's a
nice
really
contrast.
solid
Yeah.
player.
Yeah,
but the Cardinals owner, at least he lets Brides know that he's giving up this sweet. That's what
That's how
his
that
priorities are.
That's how that started. But where the Cardinals continue to lack is on the defensive side of the ball as well. I mean, they can never hit on both sides of the ball at the same time. I mean, how many times did we see the Cardinals suffer these walk-off losses?
Oh yeah.
Look, they were 2-3 with Kyler Murray before he said no mas.
And three of those losses were last.
They were all
losses.
walk-offs.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we're talking about you have the lead, and if you could either get a first down or if your defense can make a stop, you're 5-0.
Right.
It wasn't like the other teams were in field goal position.
No,
and
no.
They drove down the
down.
field
Absolutely.
to get in.
Absolutely.
In that time. I know. My heart
Yeah.
can't handle this stuff.
You could say that they're close, they're getting there, but just like our U.S. Men's soccer team, I'm watching that, dude. You're not ready.
No.
They're not ready for the big stage.
No. But boy, it was fun while it lasted. I know we got to take a break.
Yep.
We can come back and talk about that.
Do top of the hour here. Well, we'll get Coop's opinion on the U.S. national. That's my take. Is they're not at that level. They hit the level that they're good enough to get to, and then they flamed out. But we do have to talk college football, a Big 12 media day. Not a lot to talk about now, but we will have stuff to talk about tomorrow. Your D-backs. Dale's back on the bandwagon after last night. Climbed back up that railing to get up there.
Mr. Fott.
Suns did something Coop I know how to be happy about yesterday, signing a certain player to a two-way deal, but they also did something with their front office that I find intriguing as well.
Michigan
We'll talk
State guy
about that. Come on back, folks. We'll talk about the Phoenix Spartans coming up as well. With Bruce Cooper. Come on back. Second hour coming up next.